Today I'm going to show you how to do an elbow stand and the best tips and tricks on holding it, so let's get started. The first and most important step is to choose a variation. Double stag, single stag, split, contortion, and straight. I find this one to be the hardest to hold. I recommend learning double stag or contortion since they are the easiest to hold in my opinion. But you can use this tutorial to learn any type of elbow stand. The second step is to stretch out. This is important to avoid injuring yourself. I'm going to speed this part up, but feel free to pause the video and do one of my stretch routines. I recommend stretching out for at least 5 minutes. Now that you're all stretched out and you choose your variation, it is time you start learning your elbow stand. The first thing you need to know is how to hold your hands. I personally learned my elbow stand using the triangle motion, but you can learn it by making a square motion as well. By learning it in the square motion, you can find your balance by flexing and stretching out your fingers. Now that you know that, it is time to attempt your elbow stand. Make sure to have one leg bent, one leg straight, and engaged core, and make sure you're looking straight ahead. Now I'm going to show you how you should hold your elbow stand. Make sure to have an engaged core, pointed toes, and keep staring at the floor or your hands, but most importantly, keep balancing on your elbows. Remember that this takes a lot of practice, so don't give up if you don't get it first try. One of the things that really puts people off their elbow stand is because they are scared of falling backwards. I had this fear too, but don't forget that you can practice against a wall. The proper way to fall backwards is into an elbow bridge. This is why you should always stretch out your back before practicing elbow stands. Now I'm going to show you how I got my elbow stand. The first thing I would do is go into a bridge and go on my elbows and practice slowly kicking up to balance in a contortion elbow stand. This is how I got my elbow stand, but if you don't have enough back flexibility, feel free to just do it the normal way. Now that you can learn how to do an elbow stand, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks to hold it longer. My first tip is to practice. Elbow stands are one of those things that you just can't get in a day. You need a lot of effort for it. So don't get discouraged if you don't get your elbow stand right away. Another thing I would recommend is to experiment with different variations and your elbows, in what placement they are and how you're holding your elbow stand. For example, look at the way I'm constantly moving my elbows and flexing my fingers to see what way works best for me and how long I can hold it. I also suggest learning how to fall into your elbow bridge so you don't become scared of falling backwards and can do your elbow stand more confidently. Remember, if you are scared of falling into your elbow bridge from your elbow stand, it's one of those things that takes a lot of practice. You can also practice against a wall, and I'm going to show you some drills to make it way easier for you. Make sure to stretch out your back before these. Okay, so now you're just going to go onto your elbows and kick. Do some light kicks to make you feel comfortable while you're kicking up into your elbow bridge. Practice this a couple of times every day and it should help you get less scared of falling from your elbow stand. It'll also help you to do more contortion tricks. I hope this video will help you get your elbow stand. If it did, make sure to like this video. And remember, it's very important to stay consistent.